us live at 8:15 right now. I don't even know what time it is. 8:20. We like to not live by the clock though. So we just do this live whenever we get at it.
You'd love to live by the clock. I hold you back.
There is that. Anything exciting? What is going to bring excitement to your life today?
We got a new group starting tonight.
Oh yeah, good for you. You have a new LifeLab starting. Mm-hmm. Is that exciting for you, or is that like work for you?
Well, it's work. It's exciting, but it's work.
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
I was just reminded I'm excited today about my new backpack. I know it's so simple, but because I've changed my diet stuff and I'm taking like a water bottle and a lunch pail and this and that, I feel like a little old lady with all my bags. And I was like, I need a bigger bag to contain all of my stuff. So yeah, it's the little things for me.
The little things.
Well, I hope your group goes well today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So am I reading today?
You are reading today. All right. Just get at it. Let's go.
What are we even in? Oh, look at that. We are
the 8th.
We're gonna read a meditation. We're gonna read a thought and a meditation. And then we're gonna bring the fire. When the morning sun comes up on a nice bright day and we jump out of bed, we're thankful to God that we feel well and happy instead of sick and disgusted. Serenity and happiness have become much more important to us than the excitement of drinking, which lifts us up for a short while, but lets us way down in the end. Of course, all of us alcoholics had a lot of fun with drinking. We might as well admit it. We can look back on a lot of good times before we became alcoholics. But the time comes for all of us alcoholics when drinking ceases to be fun and becomes trouble. Have I learned that drinking can never again be anything but trouble for me? Meditation for the day. I must rely on God. I must trust him to the limit. I must depend on the divine power in all human relationships. I will wait and trust and hope until God shows me the way. I will wait for guidance on each important decision. I will meet the test of waiting until a thing seems right before I do it. Every work for God must meet this test of time. The guidance will come if I wait for it.
Wow.
Waiting.
But we just read this in our morning group about we did finish it on the letter to the wives in the big book, where it talks about the 4 different kind of stages of a husband's drinking, and then it talks about
different types of drinkers. Not everybody moves through all those stages.
Well, if they're alcoholic.
If you're reading that book,
yeah,
probably.
But if they are alcoholic, then they don't just stay in that stage. We all get to stage 4 at some point. And then we read about the wives kind of participating and remembering that parties and socializing,
sitting on the patio with a pitcher of sangria. Parties will never be fun ever again.
And so you had good comments about that. So this is the same idea of like looking. It's so easy to look back, but I can come to the understanding that alcohol will always be trouble for me. Mm-hmm. And I guess I've got to that point. And then somebody in your situation, how do you get to that point? Where I think what I did in my active addiction, when you would get mad at me, when I would cross some boundaries and lines, you would get mad at me, and I could pretty much smooth things over within how long? 2 days? 24 hours, maybe 48 hours. I would say about 48 hours to 72 hours would be the max.
Yeah. In the later years, yes.
And then what I would typically do, I would try very controlled drinking with you because it was fun for all of us. And we'd go to the movies, and then we'd, maybe go to Eastside Mario's after and have a beer, or I would order a pitcher. But I would try to rekindle and reignite those kind of activities, because
you'd get a nice bottle of wine for dinner.
Yeah.
And I always knew there was a box coming next.
But that, I think that
and then off you'd go to the races.
in the addiction, I was always trying to make it the normal again, and like, let's look back to the good times. And so I think we have to get to that point. I think for me personally is like, alcohol is trouble at any level. And so what do you look at in the chaos creator, like the excitaholic? What's the line of like, I'm not looking back at that? Is that like, what are the activities that you would look back at and go, this is nothing but trouble for me?
Well, I feel like it's a difficult question to answer, but I know that for me, like rushing and hustling and getting overcommitted and doing too many things and like overscheduling, like that's trouble. Like I know for myself, that's trouble. And so I have,
being in the middle of relationships.
And then like trying to fix other people's stuff or trying to sort out, like really getting involved in like, I does something inside of me.
And you can say all of those activities are nothing but trouble for me today.
Yeah.
Man.
Getting like thinking that I have better ideas. That I'm very wise and really smart and I can really like let me give you some advice. Like I don't need to give people advice. I can't give people advice because I don't think like other people. And so to think that I can just give you advice and I'm just going to like hand it over to you and whatever you do with it is your business and I'm not going to be attached to the advice that I've given you, that's actually like completely false. So I'm far too attached to my idea of how smart I am than I ever was willing to admit. I mean, which is why I thought I could do such a great job being a wife to, someone who had caused a lot of trouble. Like if you just listened to me, like if you would just do what I thought was good, things would have been a whole lot better. And so for me, what I've learned is I don't need to give anybody advice. And so there's a peace that has come actually where I can actually be at peace because I'm connected to God and I'm not caught up in all of that anymore, where I can sit with people, I can be present with people and I can ask them questions and actually really do care about what's going on with them. But I'm not attached.
I like how you put that. I don't think I've ever really heard that before, but that I'm attached to the things that come out of my mouth. I'm attached to my actions. I'm attached, like I'm looking for, I have expectations and results. That's really good. And then the question that I'm thinking about that I wrote down this morning was, what am I doing that pushes people away? And so what are the things that are causing me trouble today? Because there's things, I think we grow in it. And I think we can go to these third alternatives, whether it's food or relationships or too much TV or too much phone time. And I might not be a food addict or a cell phone addict or media addict, whatever that is. But is that causing me trouble? Can I look back and go, this is trouble? Like I was just saying that this morning about certain foods. I'm like, there's nothing but trouble behind those foods for me specifically. And it's like, I don't know where that's going, but I want to live a healthy physical life as well. And I haven't really like taken care of that in the last decade. I've been too busy with other things. But I think there's a progression of like cutting out of my life the things that I can look back on and go, this is just trouble. Like there always is a little benefit. There's always a little silver lining, but I think at the end of it, really understanding of like what brings me trouble. Well, this brings me trouble, this activity, doing this, and we grow in it. Yeah, and we become more effective in our recovery. Yeah. Thank you. I'm attached to my, that's really good. I'm going to remember that today.
To how smart I am.
I'm going to remember how smart you are. Prayer for today.
Prayer for today. I pray that I may meet the test of waiting for God's guidance. I pray that I will not go off on my own.
Amen. That's trouble.
Oh, can I ever go off on my own?
Go. All right. Keep the peace. Be of good behavior. We'll see you at noon Eastern time for our LifeLab Connect meeting. If you want more details on that, it'll be on our social media. Bye.